Because the opposition is mounting.
Yes.
Now let's get back to David. Congress will hold a symbolic protest vote today against President Obama's request to raise the debt ceiling. It's purely symbolic. The debt ceiling is going to be expanded. And by election day, our national debt will be at $16 trillion. Therefore, the question is another downgrade for America upcoming? David?
I don't see how it's avoidable.
Really?
When we get to December...
Unavoidable? Another downgrade?
Absolutely. When we get to December, the lame duck session, it will be the mother of all gong shows legislatively. Because everything that we've been doing to try to medicate and stimulate the economy for 10 years expires.
That's December of this year,
December
2012.
of 2012, all the rate cuts expire. The capital gains, the dividend, the estate tax reduction expires. The tax holiday that they're going to extend expires. Unemployment insurance expires. Every tax credit that businesses lobbied for the last 2 decades expire. They all expire. It's worth $7 trillion over 10 years in terms of hit to the economy. And they'll be in the middle of a unbelievable, never before seen battle over to extend or not to extend or to modify, and our system is so paralyzed and dysfunctional, and this election is likely to produce so much polarization, class warfare, that I see no chance that that lame duck session can address that massive problem. They'll kick it down the road, extend everything, and on that moment, the rating agencies will have no choice except to downgrade yet once again.
All right. Another subject, but related. So far, America's key interest rates, and by that I mean the yield on the 10-year Treasury, have come straight down. The hot money's come over from Europe, pushing our interest rates down. I think it's about 1.85% on the 10-year Treasury right now. Almost a historic low, 1.90%. When do those rates start to go back up again?
As soon as the Fed gets out of the market and allows a legitimate free market in the Treasury bond, $10 trillion worth of paper to function.
Will they get out of the way?
Well, that's the big issue. I certainly hope they do. We don't need a QE3. We don't need the Fed back in there buying more bonds on top of the $3 trillion they already own.
Okay.
But as long as you have that huge bid from the Treasury, from the Fed and other central banks around the world, of course interest rates are going to be low because all the traders front run the Fed.
Got it.
And so as long as they know the Fed is holding...
You're talking about almost a catastrophe, a very dark picture. You're saying a downgrade is inevitable. We've got $7 trillion going to be taken out the economy with the tax changes that take place in December. And now you're saying interest rates will probably go up when the Fed backs away from the market.
Yes.
That's a very dark picture.
Well, but it is the reality. This is how we've been stumbling down the road for the last 2 or 3
so
years,
you're saying we're
avoiding
coming to the
our
cliff.
problem.
The cliff edge is getting closer and closer and closer. We're almost there. We've almost hit the wall.
I think we'll hit the wall in December because the Fed has taken itself hostage. When it begins to reduce its balance sheet, all hell is going to break loose. And if it doesn't, we're going to be an even worse situation in terms of the global market.
That's why the Fed's going to do QE3. You just made the argument for it.
Yeah.
They'll do it. All right. I wish we had more time, David. You are the voice of authority on this subject, and we appreciate you being with us. David Stockman.